Hey guys, this is MrCrayfish and welcome back to my Redstone tutorials. In this tutorial today, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to build my chicken cooker version 2. Now the difference with this version compared to the last one is this one's a lot more reliable. The last one simply was just a little bit of fun, but I discovered that there was a problem with it, that the chickens would eventually go everywhere if you had too many in the system. This one is a lot more reliable. So how it works is we have two buttons down here which control two different operations in the machine. So this right one will simply toggle on and off whether to fire the eggs into the system or not, and then this left one here will simply fire out some fire which will then burn the chickens, and that will also drop the chickens down below, which then the drops will go into this chest down here. So if I press this right button, it's going to start firing out eggs into the system. Now don't worry, the eggs don't actually hurt the chickens, but we can turn that off again by pressing the right button. And then if we actually want to burn the chickens and get their meat, simply press the left button here. The chickens are burnt, they drop down, and then all the drops will start going into this chest down below. Now if you're wondering where the eggs come from, if we come around the back here, you'll see that we've got a case of chickens at the back here, and their eggs will go into this hopper here, which then go into that dispenser at the back there. But now I'm going to show you guys how to build this. So the materials you're going to need is 2 redstone dust, 2 redstone torches, 3 redstone repeaters, 2 redstone comparators, 3 droppers, 2 dispensers, 1 sticky piston, 5 hoppers, 2 buttons of your choice, I've just gotten some stone ones, 1 chest, 1 half slab of your choice, and 64 blocks of your choice. So the first thing that we want to do is place down 2 blocks of our choice. We're going to place one down, then leave a space, and then place another one. On the front faces of these 2 blocks, you want to place a button, so one there and one there. In between the 2 blocks, get your chest, and then we're going to place that in between. Behind the chest, we're going to get one of our hoppers and then place it down with the funnel going into it, so make sure you're crouching when you do this. Then behind each of these blocks we're going to place 1 repeater. We want to make this repeater lead into a block and then place a piece of redstone dust on top of that. We're then going to place a block on top of the repeater, so make sure you're crouching when you do this, and then just right click. We then want to get our repeater and we want to place it next to this block here facing away, continuing the signal. We're going to make this go into another block, and then on the right face of this block we're going to get one of our redstone torches, place it on that right side, and then another block on top of that. You want to get your sticky piston, and we're going to place that on the front face of this block facing forward, and then get your half slab and place it on the top half of the piston head. We're then going to get one of our dispensers and place it on top of this block facing towards the half slab. On this side, what we're going to do is we're going to leave 1 space from the repeater here, place a dropper facing forward, then we're going to place one in between the repeater here and the dropper there facing upwards, and then we're going to place one on top of this dropper facing towards the back. Again, make sure you're crouching when you place it so you don't open up the GUI. And then get one of your hoppers and place it so the funnel is going into this dropper at the bottom here. Hold crouch again. At the end here we're going to place a redstone comparator coming out of this dropper here. We're going to make that go into a block, which then on top of that block place a piece of redstone dust. We're going to place a block behind this block here, and then place your last redstone torch on top. On top of the piston head, we're going to place our last dispenser, so right click the top of the piston head there. We're then going to place our hopper behind this dispenser here, so make sure you're crouching and then just right click like so. Place a comparator on top of this hopper, again crouch, and then place a block of your choice on top of this dispenser here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place a block on top of this redstone torch here, then place a hopper going into the front face of it. We're then going to destroy the block, and then place a hopper going into this hopper here, and make sure you're crouching again and right click like that, so the funnels should go into each other. Now believe it or not, that is actually the construction of it finished. What we're going to do now is just quickly configure it. So what you'll need to do is place one item in this dropper down here, so just any old item, it doesn't really matter. Place one item in there, and then what you want to do is you want to fill up this dispenser over here on the left up with flint and steel. So just get out a bunch of these, fill it up completely so you don't have to refill it ever again. You also want to come to this left side and set this second repeater to 4 ticks. You also want to get a scrap item and place it in this last hopper at the top here. And now you also want to create a little chicken farm on top of this comparator here. So what you would simply want to do is just seal this in by creating a 2-high block like that around the comparator. Then you just want to fire eggs into here. Then later on you can simply place a block like this and then destroy those 4 around the outside, and the chickens should be sealed within. You can use glass if you want to make it look a bit better. Now to cover this up, you want to make sure you seal in this slab here, so we're going to place a block in front of it and then a block to the right. If you want to see the chickens, place a glass on top of that, and then I'm just going to place a normal block on the right side there, and then you also want to place one over the top, making sure that there is still an open airspace inside there. Now it's that time in the tutorial where I'm going to teach you guys how this works, and it is very simple. So let's start with the left button here. When you press that, it sends a signal into this repeater, which then powers this redstone, which that redstone powers this block, and that triggers this dispenser up here to fire the flint and steel, which then burns the chickens. While that's happening, it's sending out a signal into this repeater here. Now, because this is delayed, the fire is going to be on for about a second. So this is going to send out a signal after a little bit, which then that goes into a block which this torch is on. Because this block is powered, it's going to turn that torch off, which then makes the piston retract. The chickens then fall down above that hopper below this chest, and then once they die, all the items fall into the hopper and then get placed into this chest here. Now what this right button does is it allows the system to fire out the eggs or not. So when you power it once, it sends out a signal through this repeater, and here we have a T flip-flop, and basically what this does is it will turn on and off if a signal comes in. So if we press it once, it will turn on, and it will only turn off until we press the button again. So the signal comes out of this comparator, which powers this redstone. So if this redstone is off, it means this redstone torch is going to be on, and that basically holds this item here. If this redstone is on, it turns off this redstone torch, and that allows the item to go back and forth between the hoppers here. The comparator behind this hopper here will detect if there's an item in this hopper. If there is, it will send out a signal which then powers that dispenser behind there, and that fires the eggs out. Now how the eggs get in there is the chickens are actually on top of this comparator here. The eggs will actually get sucked up by this hopper below, and then that just simply goes into the dispenser behind there. Now just a quick tip, if you did build yours out of wood, you simply want to replace this block above the airspace with a stone block, and then also you want to replace the one to the right of the airspace here with a stone block as well, and this basically stops anything from catching on fire. So let's go ahead and quickly test it out now. So we just simply have to press the left button here. That will burn the chickens, and then as you can see, their drops will fall into that hopper, which then gets placed into the chest here. But anyway, that's going to end off this redstone tutorial today. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you remember to hit that like button, show your support for this series. If you have any ideas for redstone tutorials, let me know down in the comments, because I have taken suggestions in the past, and also subscribe if you want to see my new tutorials. But anyway, I will see you guys later. Bye bye.